Chorus does not pay creators for content, does not tell them what to say, does not control who they talk to or work with, and there is absolutely nothing in the contract that could even be reasonably interpreted to say that we do.
There are a bunch of independent influencers that must have gotten together and like fed the same exact fake information to Taylor Lorenz. You can't just like lie in a piece of news coverage like this.
Jeez, Hasan is desperately trying to defend Taylor Lorenz and her reporting on a Democrat dark money group secretly paying creators to influence their content, telling them not to disclose their sponsorships, which honestly is a good thing to expose. But Taylor Lorenz has received a lot of criticism on the validity of this article, and let's just say Hasan's defense of her and her reporting is honestly schizo level in its insanity.
Yeah, a lot of people are yelling at Taylor for her reporting on this. I don't understand it, like, because no one is, from what I've seen, they're not actually like directly undermining any of the veracity of the reporting. Like, they're not saying the reporting is like wrong. They're just saying that they just keep saying like, oh, this is not true. And then they turn around and say like, these guys just kind of gave us money for fun. Is 100% a smear campaign on Taylor? Yeah.
At the risk of giving an internet troll more attention, I want to address a piece that Taylor Lorenz wrote yesterday for Wired. An initiative aimed at boosting Democrats online offers influencers up to $8,000 a month to push the party line. All they have to do is keep it secret and agree to restrictions on their content. Literally nothing in this statement is true. The article is about Chorus, which is a nonprofit that I helped found to build up a creator ecosystem, which everybody says they want, but few are doing. So here's what Chorus is. It is a scholarship program to teach creators how to grow their accounts, foster engagement, launch their own shows, and become profitable on their own. It's an incubator program to build the pro-democracy ecosystem. Influencers and creators have never been more important when it comes to how Americans are consuming their news. The right has been doing this for years, and the left needs to catch up. That's why we're doing this with Chorus. So let's talk about what Chorus is and what it's not. Chorus does not pay creators for content, does not tell them what to say, does not control who they talk to or work with, and there is absolutely nothing in the contract that could even be reasonably interpreted to say that we do. Period.
But I don't understand. If that's the case, where is Taylor Lorenz getting this information from? Right? Because look, the reality of the matter is, I have stood by Taylor's journalism and her reporting, and she's been consistent, right? You can't, either there is a massive up here, like, and either she like didn't see the correct contract or something, or someone fed her misinformation, like one of her on background or off the record resources just either deliberately spread misinformation, just lied to her completely. And then not only did that person lie to her, but that person lied to a team of fact checkers, the editorial team. And at no stage did the legal team at Wired magazine look at this and go, this doesn't seem correct, right? So did they just like make up a bunch of fake contracts and then feed it to Wired magazine? If that's the case, why would they have done so? Like, there are too many points of failure and too many lies on behalf of like, in order for me to arrive at this conclusion that like this reporting was untrue, there are a bunch of independent influencers that must have gotten together and like fed the same exact fake information to Taylor Lorenz. And it feels too incredulous. Okay.
Wow, this is honestly crazy. Hasan is actually saying that if Taylor Lorenz is wrong, then it was a coordinated attack against her to discredit her, and they gave her fake contracts to set her up. Honestly, I'm wondering what about her history of reporting is making Hasan have so much faith in her. Is it just because she stands for him and she is a journalist, so he wants to keep her on his good side? Like, I don't like Taylor Lorenz in the slightest. You can see why in my video how Taylor Lorenz became the most hated journalist alive. That'll show you just exactly why I don't trust this woman. But With that said, if this article actually is true, then I think it's a good subject to expose. But I really don't think we should be weighing on the side that if this is wrong, then it was a conspiracy to set her up, and they forged fake contracts to do that. The fact that this is Hasan's first line of reasoning to come to her defense is just actually crazy. Nobody needs to set Taylor Lorenz up to make her look bad. She does a great job of doing that just on her own.
And I think because a lot of people don't have media literacy, they just look to stuff like this and assume that, they have the same editorial standards as like a TikTok call out post. When you are writing a story for a serious publication, there are fact checkers that work behind the scenes. You get information on the record, you get information off the record, and you get information on background, okay? And on top of that, you have a trove of data that you sometimes won't even put in the article, but you show the actual fact checkers. You show the editorial team. There's an editorial process that is maintained. There are lawyers that look over these articles before they are released, because if you have a news outlet, that's just like slinging dirt, okay? If you have a news outlet that's just like shit smearing, slinging dirt, making up fabricated information, they will get into a lot of trouble.
Full stop. I don't know a single creator who would willfully sign up for a program that would tell them what they can or can't say. That's not what this program is. We pay people to show up to workshops and technical trainings to optimize their content online. For example,
But even this guy saying he got money, his saying he just got money for fun, like his counterpoint to Taylor makes no sense. No, this is the person who owns Chorus, okay? So Chorus is an out and about like DNC affiliated influencer structure, right? So that's out in the open. That's not actually even a point of contention here.
We've got trainings on how to package content for YouTube, trainings on how to optimize audience retention for Instagram and TikTok, trainings on how to form an LLC. Again, there are zero restrictions on their content. And by the way, the program works. In just 2 months, our cohort has added a combined 6 million followers, that's not including me, and seen their views and engagement grow. That is the point of the program, to teach creators how to be effective with whatever messages they want to promote. And with regard to keeping it a secret, there is a standard confidentiality clause in the contract to protect the privacy of the creators. On the literal first day of the program, it was made clear to all of the creators in our kickoff session that they were absolutely free to talk about Chorus. And we immediately followed up to confirm that in writing. Creators have videos about Chorus. They've got donation links to Chorus in their bios. I myself have made videos that were posted all over the internet about Chorus that reached hundreds of thousands of people. It is not a secret, and it never was.
Yeah, I don't think that's the secretive part. I don't even think Taylor was saying that that's a secret. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. Unless, I don't think Brian is misunderstanding the reporting, right? Like, because the reporting does not make it seem as though Chorus is this secretive element here. Chorus has a website, and on that website there are content creators, many of which actually work with Chorus, and some that do not actually work with Chorus that are even used in the pitch decks, for example. Even in the Wired article, if you guys remember, like Kat Abu-Ghazalek, who is now running for Congress, who used to work as an influencer and also used to work at Media Matters, was demanding that she no longer be presented in the pitch decks, for example. So they were like, so that kind of stuff is... This comes across like a little bit of a straw man. Ultimately, if those contracts are falsified and they're shown to be the contract stipulations are shown to be entirely different than the way Taylor reported on it, then that's on her. But when I read an article from like Wired magazine from a reporter like Taylor Lorenz, my initial expectation is not going to be, oh, this is slop or this is false. This is a falsehood. You can't just like lie in a piece of news coverage like this.
Dude did not just say that you can't lie in a piece of news coverage. Like, dude, don't you like complain about people doing that all the time? Isn't that like 50+% of what you do all day long? Also, she is literally known for doing just that, Hasan. What about when she said she attempted to contact Illegal Bites and that umbrella guy for comment in her article on creators profiting off the Depp Heard trial? Turns out that was a lie, and they had to issue corrections. What about when she used burner accounts while claiming she didn't? Another lie. What about her using old tweets to dox and expose people, all while excluding her own account from the Wayback Machine? Think about it. A journalist is hiding their history of statements so nobody can contradict her. If you think Taylor Lorenz is trustworthy and wouldn't lie, then you're just brainwashed, dude. She does that literally all the time, even printed in her own articles. But with that said, if this is true, then it should definitely be exposed. Influencers not disclosing sponsorships from dark money groups telling them what to say politically is not something that should be happening on either side. But also, without her specifically showing actual proof, like the contracts she says she has, without that, I have a hard time just believing her, especially with her history of not telling the truth. And Hasan's defense by saying that if she is wrong, then it was a conspiracy by multiple people to set her up with fake forged contracts. And it seems like a person in chat had a problem with it. Watch as this person in chat tells Hasan he should reserve his judgment till he knows all the facts, and he shouldn't be defending his stands like Taylor Lorenz.
That chatter you are arguing with is bad faith from my logs, from check logs. And the founder of the company unambiguously stated that there are no content restrictions. Okay, but the fucking contracts that they reviewed show otherwise. So it turns into a he said, she said. And considering that the owner of the company, the founder of the company, who, again, I'm going to repeat this one more time. I have disagreements with Brian Tyler. I have disagreements with Brian Tyler Cohen. So the honest thing to do is reserve judgment, not to defend your stands. My stands. Any journalist could have written this article and my assessment would be the exact same. My stands? Taylor Lorenz is not my fucking stand. She's an adult, okay? Again, I don't want to be uncharitable to you, chatter, but it kind of feels like you're coming at this from an incredibly parasocial lens. It seems like you're actually arguing at the behest of some other parasocial ambition that you have to make it seem like this person is actually a bad journalist because they're a stan of mine or something. And it's not only objectively incorrect, but it feels like you're a little drama brain. I want to be as charitable as possible to you. Totally. You caught me. Seriously. Chatter is saying, trust these people faced with allegations, but not the reviewed contract by the publication. If you have a problem believing the publication, chatter, demand that they release a contract. Yeah, the other side of the story is that like you're kind of doing the same thing that like Republicans do. You're just saying like it's fake news. Look at logs from 2014-08. What is this? Meowlix? 2024-08. She's not looking for Trumpers. She's looking for never Trumpers who might otherwise stay home. Oh my God. Why are these chatters like this, bro? This was the chatter unironically defending Kamala Harris's Liz Cheney coalition. Liberals have this like weird... Greta would be a better activist if she was streaming 8 hours a day. Liberals, why are liberals like this? Why are liberals so cynical? Why are they only just like angry at the left?
You know what's funny about this? Earlier in the same stream, Hasan was just talking about how people are deflecting and going on the attack themselves to sidestep the conversation. Then Hasan and his chat literally do this to the first chatter to call them out on the subject.
What's the point of Brian Taylor Cohen lying about Taylor here? It's not even, I guess technically it's not even a lie. I guess like the only thing that he's wrong about or lying about, or he might be misguided about is the funding, but like you're attacking the messenger instead of the message. It's a trick that a lot of people do. It's a very successful deflection mechanism to say, oh, well, no, you're also getting funded by this guy that we're also getting funded by. But in fact, from what I understand, seemingly Jessica Burbank is the one who started. I really like Jessica Burbank. I don't understand what the fuck's going on here, but is the one who started the complete lie that I'm somehow funded by 1630 Fund, or that Omidyar Network is reporting is. Omidyar Network has received zero funding from 1630. I have received zero funding from 1630. This is a disgusting thing to do to another reporter. Page 82 of Financial Disclosure in 2022. I just DM'd it to King Clip because I saw him retweeting Taylor. This screenshot is from a refund 1630 sent from a program that Omidyar funded years ago before the Reporters in the Residence program even began. Okay. One of the things that's really frustrating about these sorts of conversations online is like, someone writes an article, okay, for Wired Magazine. Someone writes an article in general. And then instead of addressing the claims that are being made, most people just turn around and go, no, you. You can't just turn around and go, well, the person who wrote this article also gets funded by a different like grant structure, right? Like this is not an effective counter, okay? Unfortunately, or this should not be an effective counter. Unfortunately, it is a very effective counter.
What's really funny, though, is Hasan is mentioning this because this is his primary way of getting out of shit when the heat comes down on him, which is why he's so well versed on the theory of this. He does this exact move all the time, and he even talks about this exact move all the time, just proving he knows exactly what he's doing.
If you go with the Donald Trump school of medicine, no, you're simply wrong. What do you think you'll see you in court? People go, oh, there might be something to that.
Yeah, you deny, you deflect, and then you counterattack the person who like launched this investigation on you, and you try to claim that like there's a hidden bias there. And most lizard brain dipshits who like love you unconditionally will go, oh, finally I have an out to defend this person, right?
Yeah. Kind of funny how Hasan criticized this method people were using against Taylor Lorenz, then employed this exact method against a chatter that didn't agree with him on the situation. What a joke of an individual. And some might be wondering, why is Hasan going so hard in the paint to cover for Taylor Lorenz? Well, that's because they're aligned politically and good friends. They want a leftist socialist Democrat Party, and this funding group is promoting a liberal Democrat Party, which is exactly why she went on the attack on this article and even referenced Hasan in it as an example of what the Democrat Party should be promoting. Watch as Hasan makes this quite clear.
And I don't like that a lot of the initiatives from the Dems have been to basically flood the market to the best of their ability with, no, you don't understand, harm reduction. Democrats are better than Republicans, which is not even false. Okay, that is true. Democrats are marginally better than Republicans on a lot of issues, and even majorly better than Republicans on a lot of issues. They just follow the Republicans, at least in the way that I've tracked it for the past, 10 years, 12 years at this point, over the course of multiple election cycles, midterms and general elections, where Democrats basically follow the Republicans' lead on a lot of these issues, and they play the role of normalizing the Overton window shifting further and further to the right as they take on and assume the positions of the Republican Party just 4 years after the fact. This obviously creates a lot of enmity. This creates a lot of anger and resentment in the base of support within the Democrat structure, which is precisely the reason why Democrats have lost support even at a time where they're supposed to be gaining momentum, gaining support, because the Republicans fucking suck. They're in power. Everything sucks. Everything is awful. The world is burning all around us. And yet people still say this is ass. Democrats are not presenting an alternative. They're not fighting back. They're not fighting back hard enough.
And there it is. Hasan just showed his and Taylor Lorenz cards. That's what this is all about. It's about attacking the structure the Democrat Party is trying to push. Because both of these guys, think that the mainstream Democrat Party has been shooting themselves in the foot by not going more leftist and promoting more leftist ideals in candidates. Which I guess is a fair point because the modern Democrat Party is in absolute shambles. But I'm not so sure that going more leftist and socialist will fix that. Alright guys, I said my bit. Hope you guys liked the video. And if you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And if you want to see more content like this, YouTube thinks we'll like this video right here.